Hello, and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Today, we are going to preview the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, and that is called the King's Plate, formerly the Queen's Plate. We discussed that in a previous video, so be sure to check those out. Anyway, we're at Woodbine Racetrack, so we'll go through the past performances. There's 17 horses plus some also eligibles. So probably what I'll do is handicap it down inside 10, 7, 8 horses. I'll gloss over some of the ones that I think are just long shots, kind of like Kentucky Derby. You could toss half the field a lot of times. So anyway, I also have previous videos for this week's stakes races, like the big ones at Saratoga, Alabama, Lake Placid. And I also did a special video for the $1 million late pick 5. So be sure to check that out because that could make you rich. So also there's a Del Mar Oaks coming up and the Philip Island at Monmouth. So those will be out today. So be sure to set your notifications. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Smash that like, leave me a comment, and let's get it started. And like I said, this is a Kentucky Derby-esque field of 17 horses. And there are some also eligibles, just in case there's any late scratches. This race takes place on Sunday, just to set your calendars to that. And we're going to start, it's a 1.25 miles on the all-weather track at Woodbine for $1 million. So Stanley House is kicking us off number 1, and he is going off at 4-1 odds. Michael DePaulo trains. Javier Castellano flies in to ride. Interesting. So it does have some good qualities. I would say the inside post probably be okay. An upgraded jockey, high percent trainers with beaten favorites, and it was beaten last out as a favorite. Should be much more in the mix today, I would think, from that plate effort. But, it has a lot of optional claiming. I tried to look deeper into the money that these horses were running for, and a lot of it's, optional claiming. These are 84K maidens. So a little bit less on the class level, in my opinion. But this one is probably on the outside, I'd say in the exotics range, trifecta, superfecta, maybe as a spread for your exacta, but I don't like it for the win. This one is a filly. Mark Casse trains Elysian Field, and Sahin Savici rides. And Savici is quite the accomplished jockey at Woodbine, so I'm definitely going to be trusting that high percentage winner. One last race on the Woodbine and the all-weather, 91 speed rating, 500K for the Woodbine Oaks. Drifted out but held. So this one looks like a win contender in my book. Her run style fits, high percent jockey, like I said, definitely going to be in the win pool. And so the next few I'm going to kind of gloss over. Blinkers are on for Philip My Dear, Kevin Attard, and Daisuke Fukumoto rides. But I don't think I'm going to be interested in the poor recent speed figures, but might improve with the blinkers. Twin Cities next, not a ton of interest, well below average speed, but 25% greater. And if this is considered a non-graded stakes event, but it's a pretty big one. Stuart Simon is the trainer. Gary Belanger is the jock. So I probably won't have interest in that one or this one. More Stashies, which is Renico Lafond, trainer, and Leo Salas rides. Like Never a Threat versus Weaker, best speed rating well below, poor sprint to route, all that stuff doesn't. I mean, blinkers on is one thing, but with this many horses in the race, it's like the only one in the field that's 50-1. So that tells you a lot. Now this one is obviously going to be our favorite. It's the Chad Brown Calic and Kazushi Kimura, which is one of the top jocks at Woodbine. So I like the jock. Turf to all weather, 31% for Chad Brown. And we know, I've said ad nauseum, how good he is with turf horses. The Belmont Derby is a toss for me. He got off slow, got way behind, just was never really a factor in this slow pace race and was unable to close much ground coming home versus this field, which is much better field than he's facing today. So I feel pretty good about the win chances. Maybe a single. So I'll that stay tuned for the betting portion of the show when I go to the betting calculator. So speed numbers in the 90s, best in the field, sharp workouts. It's ready to go. I like Velocitor. This is Kevin Attard and Justin Stein. And a poor jockey, poor win percent, beaten by everybody else. Fourth in the plate, which was not too bad, but got killed by 19 in the Marine. And there was other horses that ran better in the Marine that are in this race. So I'll pass. Wickenheiser is a definite contender. This is the other filly that ran in the Woodbine Oaks with Elysian Field. This is a Kevin Attard. Kevin's got a lot of them in this race. Solid trainer. He's got a pretty good percentage right here. Rafael Hernandez, 18% winner. Pretty seasoned jock. Ran second in the Woodbine Oaks, coming up behind Elysian Fields. Advanced, but wasn't a real threat to win. I went back and watched it a couple of times. Elysian Field hit the turn. Closed like a banshee coming down the stretch to win that race. And this one closed pretty good as well. But I do like it in the exotics, the exactas, the underneath. Lemon Drop Kid is the sire. I always loved Lemon Drop Kid back in the day. So distance, I feel like distance is no problem here. So Wickenheiser's in the pool. Jump on in. Silent Miracle, I did kind of consider as a long shot. The trainer's pretty decent percentage. Ryan Munger is the jockey, and he's decent, but it's just the speed rating's a little bit low. I had to throw some horses out here because there's too many good enough horses to amongst these. So maybe an outside chance at crashing the board. But the early pace, I don't think does him any favors. Midnight in Malibu is another one I felt similar about. Thought it might have a shot, but just not up to snuff on the speed. The jockey is a solid jock, 2 for 2 so far at the meet. Sid Attard is the trainer, but I'll pass on that one. This is one I'll be in on here. Touch and Ride, Lane Gilfort, trainer, Jose Campos, rider, moving up in class in only 2 races. Lightly raced, did not race at 2. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but cranked out the maiden win going away by 5 1/4 in a 112K maiden, which is pretty classy, at 1 1/16 going away. So the added distance shouldn't be a problem. Candy Ride is the sire. I like that. So the highest last race speed rating, best all speed is the fastest. So this one is going to be on the top for another one. Cool Kiss, I'll probably pass on. Well below average on the speed. Michael DePaulo is the trainer. Emma Jane Wilson, good jock. One of the better top probably 5 or 6 jocks at Woodbine. So does help the chances, but not in my book. Paramount Prince, I do have interest in. Mark Cassie, trainer. Patrick Husbands is another one of those jockeys that is just a seasoned veteran, gets it done by 5 in the plate, 150K, classy enough for me. Speed is there. Early pace should be out in front. So maybe not the win, but definitely exacta trifecta wagering. So it's possible that he gets out there and wires it, but not likely. English Channel is the sire of Two-Way Crossing, which does spark a little bit of interest. Roger Atfield is the trainer, and Antonio Gallardo rider. 20% trainer, won the last race. but it was an optional claiming 40K, and none of the, ran in 100K allowance and got beat pretty badly. So I don't think the class is there. The speed is definitely not there. So I'll pass. And this one next up is quite an interesting one, to say the least. It's Cow Koi. Oh, I done messed it up already. I had it perfectly. Let me try it again. Cow Kokai Poo, which is actually a Finnish term for like being homesick. I had to look that up because I just thought it was pretty interesting. Cow Kokai Poo. Got it right that time. Ted Holder, trainer. Rico Walcott is the pilot. Hadn't raced in 50 days, and that's not a good thing for this trainer. 4% wins in 21 starts for 40, 60, 90 days away. That's a slight knock in my book. But ran second in the Marine grade 3 that I mentioned earlier, just by a half length at 1 1/16 at Woodbine against some pretty good competition. The game log looks good. I mean, we got wins, seconds, thirds, wins, seconds. So solid game log here from this horse, 6-1 odds. I think it offers some value. Maybe it'll go a little bit overlooked with the others, but I do believe that's probably going to round out the ones that I'm interested in, because this one, El Coyote, Michael DePaulo, Eswan Flores, 50-1 is the other one. Moon Landing is one I did have a little bit of interest. This is post 17. Luis Contreras will ride, and this is another Kevin Attard, but beaten by a weaker, failed as the favorite in the last 2 starts at optional claiming, and then in Queens 125K. It's not bad, but got killed by 12. So, and the speed ratings are way low in recent form. So I'm going to pass on that. All right. Heading over to the betting card here. What we're looking at is the first option in 3 that I'm going to do, I think. And this one is single in the 6 Calic. If you think Chad Brown's, this horse is going to bounce back from that crushing defeat in the Belmont Oaks, I think, and I kind of tend to lean that way as well. I'm going to put the 6 on top, and then I'm going to spread with the 1 Stanley House, 2 Elysian Field, 3 Wickenheiser. And I feel like having a couple of Wickenheisers after I get done shooting these videos. It just sounds kind of like a cool craft beer to me. So 11 Touch and Ride, 13 Paramount Prince, 15 Cow Kokai Poo is going to round out the field. And that's the last time I'm going to try to pronounce that. I keep screwing it up for some reason. But that's a solid, just a cheap $6 key. You can bump it up to whatever you want to try to double up, triple up on the exacta. Now, if you want to do a little more hedging and you think the 6 is vulnerable, I like the 2 and the 11 to compete. Elysian Field, I think that filly looked really strong. And I also think Touch and Ride looked really strong too. And it's just kind of an unknown, and I'm taking a shot at it because it's only raced a couple of times. But Gelding, son of Candy Ride, has a chance to compete here. So with an experienced jock, Jose Campos, I think it's possible. So maybe we get some good value there. Maybe we don't. I don't know. It's 12-1 morning line. So I feel like that could be a solid value option. And then I'm going to spread underneath. Like I'm going to have the same 3 underneath. And then I'm going to add in the 13 and the 15, which were the other 2 that I was looking at. And probably the 8, I think, as well, because that was Wickenheiser, definitely the filly. So I would go underneath with that one. And so I'll have 3, 6 underneath. And that's still not a bad price, especially if you get a double-digit horse to upset. Now, the third option is the big option, which is the $45, 50-cent trifecta, where I have the same 3 horses up top, the 2, 6, and 11. And then I'd run the same ones that I did for the exacta underneath 2 times. So just the 1, 2, 6, 8, 11, 13, 15 doubled up. And that's $45. And that trifecta could, if, double digits horse wins the race and then it files in, that 50-cent trifecta could pay a pretty good amount, be well worth the risk. So that's the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown for you. I hope you like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know who you might like other than Calic. See if maybe you can pick a winner, try to beat them. And until the next video, I appreciate everybody watching. See you soon.